All right, we got Ashlee Baracy here to talk some fall colors with all the warmer weather we've had the past few weeks. It's been a slower start to that fall color season. This is a live look at Mount Zion near Ironwood in the UP, where you can see some red on the treetops, but still a whole lot of green. So let's take a look downstate now. Our camera here showing you Royal Oak, where there are hints of red, but lots of yellow you can see there. Is that just the sunrise? I'm not sure.
Maybe a little both.
Maybe a little both, right. Ashlee is here with our fall foliage update. So I know the season was kind of delayed because of temperatures, right? That's a thing. But then we got real cold, then it got real wet for a while, then it got dry. So there's a lot of factors at play here.
There are a lot of factors. And, you know, the biggest factor really is the fact that we have less daylight hours, too. And so that impacts the chlorophyll that you have in the leaves. And
so much science.
Yeah. So, you know, even if it's, you know, you think, oh, it's going to be summer-like through, you know, if we held on to that through the next 2 months, you're still going to see color change because our daylight hours are dwindling. You get color change all the way down in Texas. It's just later into the season. So, yeah, so our current fall foliage map right now showing low color across lower Michigan. I would beg to differ that there's probably some moderate color in patches, but probably the lower color just because some of these leaves have just turned brown, crisp, and fallen off.
There's no in between.
That's right. And then you go up into the UP, we're near peak, especially on the western tier of the Upper Peninsula. So the 1 week forecast that takes us into early next week would put a good portion of the UP past peak and put moderate color across a good portion of lower Michigan. So if you're trying to, you maybe plan out a few pictures with the fall colors with the fam. So many people do that for Christmas cards and things like that.
Wagon, put the flannel on and go take a picture.
That's right. So, yeah, I mean, it doesn't get any more American than that. So yeah, you might want to kind of plan for those pictures in the next week or two. And I do think you'll start to see them pop a little bit more, kind of diving more into the science of it that Nick was alluding to here. When it's very dry, that can delay the color change and also call for it to be more muted. When you have more moisture, which we haven't had. I mean, we've had a very dry stretch, but the moisture helps with the vibrancy, and that's really over a prolonged amount of time. That can date all the way back to spring through summer into fall because these trees are going to hold some of that moisture as well. I mean, they don't just wilt after a week stretch of dry weather, but the latest rain will help with that. And then we are now starting to get to cooler nights, which is key. You want kind of warm, sunny afternoons with the cool, crisp nights, which we have not had up until the last, I would say, last 2 mornings where we've woken up on the cooler side. So here's a sneak peek at the lows over the next 7 days where we will be looking at those 30s and then we get back into the 40s, which is still average. But I would say that the next couple nights dipping into the 30s, and then the fact that we had a little rain this past week, maybe a little bit to, you know, as we go into the weekend, that will help pop those colors in the next week and probably at peak in about 2 weeks.
So I know that the frost we're having right now is seasonal, right? As you like to say, it's normal, right?
Normal,
but it seems like we had a drastic drop from summer temperatures into this frost. So
I mean, 20-degree drop.
Right. When it drops that quickly, does it affect what happens with the colors?
I don't think it's going to have a negative effect as far as like putting a tree into shock or something like that. Now, if you had a hard freeze, those leaves would be done. They would just fall off. But, you know, frost, they should be okay. But I do think it would start to expedite the process. So now that we do have some cooler nights, you'll start to see them pop up.
Bust out the flannel then. It's time. Time for your pictures. All right, Ash, thank you so much.